I've made my 4 fins, the 2 bigger ones at the front, the 2 smaller ones that go at the back of the fish. Before we fit them, let's just look at this drawing a moment. Here's the carp. Look at how these fins are at right angles to the body. So this fin and this fin are tilted this way, and this fin are tilted that way. So there's a bigger gap here than here. That's important to get this sense of the fish going round. I'm going to just show you how to fit one. I'm not quite sure which one. This one will go on this side. So we've got to make a joint with this piece of wood here that'll fit nicely in there. So I'll go through one, how to fit that, and the rest, the other 3 will be just the same. The joint is going to come across here like this. So I need to estimate a little bit how much wood I've got here. It's about, in this case, about 3/4 of an inch, 20 mil. So I'm going to cut this length off for a start. So you want to wrap the fin carefully, grip it in the vise this way. And then I'm going to cut down that line that we scored here. And then across here. So now I've got a little peg like this. Now you could just let this into the fish this way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little dovetail joint here, which is really more secure. So I'm going to come in about 30 degrees here and 30 degrees there, like that, something like that. This is all a hidden joint, so we needn't worry about being too accurate, but a little bit of a dovetail effect, and then gripping it just as before. On this side, I'm just doing this by eye. There you go. And then I'm going to take a chisel, an ordinary bench chisel. In other words, a chisel that's got a single bevel and is flat on one face here. And just clean this up. So I want this to be nice and straight and as square as possible in this plane, because that's going to go into a slot. So we'll just clean that up on both sides. And then I'm also going to clean up this face, which is going to be at the bottom of the dovetail. So this is now a parallel block. Let's see, I'll show you that now. So I need to clean this up a little bit here, but you can see what I've got. Little dovetail, and that this is actually going to fit up to here, sort of in there like that. Now I need to line this fin up very carefully. Bear in mind that this plane here should be on the same plane as that, so we don't want to tilt the fin like this. Also, that this edge, we might need to round that over, take more off there, in order to get this to sit against the body of the fish. One other thing is, you might think you're coming right to the midline, but actually we're out a little bit because it is dropping down. So I've lined this up as carefully as I can, square as I can. With a sharp pencil, I've gone around and made my mark. So it's this area here that's going to house the dovetail. So we'll start taking some of this wood away very carefully. We can come in from the side. This is sort of open ended. I'm going to work within the shape of the dovetail now. So I'll just take some up. So I'm just going to nip all waste away. I think I'm more or less down to where the bottom of the dovetail will be. Try again to keep square across. And then one of the best tools to use is your basic carpentry chisel again. So I'm going to set that stop cut in the corners, and again just inside set in like this. So we see the start of this dovetail recess. It is coming. Now I know that's going to be a little bit big, but it's very nice. So I need to come down this amount, so I'm going to drop that down a little bit more. Probably about twice as much actually. I've been using my flat gouge to clean up the bottom here because I don't have a narrow enough chisel here. But as long as this is fairly clean at the bottom, the job will be done. So coming down here, along there. Now I might use my skew chisel in there to get into that corner. So, I've got a rough dovetail mortise, if you like, in here. So I'm going to check this now. Slightly tight along here. So I'm going to go up to the line. Straight down. Oh, that's quite close. A little bit on this side here. Just there. So, just as before, it's a sort of bit of a softly approach. We just sneak up on it. And we want this to be a snug fit. Because that's the strength. You might like to know that I've never done a dovetail joint for a piece of furniture, but I have done dovetail joints for carvings. So, right, so that's now starting to go in. Okay, so what I can see here is as I go down, keeping this in the plane with here, this wood is going to get in the way. So I'm going to have to take off a little bit of wood here and then come back. Yeah, it's just really, it's this bit here. So I need to reshape that. You can see that I've taken quite a bit off here, but because I've done that, it now fits nice and snugly. I will need to round this over here and bring these back in, so I'm going to have to do that again. And in hindsight, perhaps I should have done this before I completed those, but there you go. So this will go in there nicely, and you can hear that's a snug fit. And this should be in the same plane as the bottom. So I'm going to finish that off, and then I'm going to put the other fins in there. And then what I will do a bit later is I'm going to continue this undercutting. One last thing I would say is that I intend putting a screw in here. So there will be a screw in there to help when it's glued in. So having got one in position, I'm going to work around and do the other three. So here are the fins. I've got them in position. You can see that these two are quite close together, but I've still got a little bit of wood in between. And also that I've undercut here and here to allow a bit of space in there, and undercut around. So that's all nicely free. So when I turn it over, you can see how nicely they appear to come out from the body. I put the screw in, that attaches them. So with that, the actual fins now are attached, and we're done.